Let's welcome in Cerrone Battle, who was with us all last postseason, also host of the Sunday football kickoff show with the draft this week. We'll get into that another time. But Cerrone, how you doing, bud?
I'm doing pretty good, man. How you doing, Joe?
Dude, I am ready. I listen, my calendar is blocked until June. I already have this thing going to the NBA Finals.
Mm-hmm.
Tonight was one of the more exciting games this year. Physical, right? Both teams kind of a game of runs, big shots. Peyton Pritchard had a big shot late in the game to kind of, pull things away a little bit. But, you got it all tonight. Blood, sweat, tears, a man's down. Everybody picked him up, right? Like just a lot of things going on here. But, what really my biggest takeaway is that Orlando's just not good enough and has to play a certain style. And if the Celtics, who are considered soft and all these other things, to me, still just fight through the adversity and continue to win as a team, and they showed it again tonight.
Yeah, I mean, they matched their intensity. They knew Orlando was going to come out swinging like they did in game one, and then the Celtics matched it. I mean, there was some good shot making by Banchero and Wagner again, but outside of that, it was just smothering defense on both ends, real physical. I thought in the third quarter, again, they came out with even more energy. And as I'm watching it, I'm wondering, does Orlando have the depth to play that physical, throughout a series or for 48 minutes? And it just didn't seem like it. And I thought in the first half, when Mazzulla, a great move by him, he started using his whole roster. Everybody, it was almost like hockey substitutions. You see 3 guys come in, 2 guys go out, and Orlando just started. You can see it wearing on them. And they made their runs. They got their shots and hung around. But I think the Celtics' depth was too much for Orlando as the game went on. And you're looking at Banchero, who's a fairly young dude. He was making his shots, but he was worn out. And you could tell by the foul line. He couldn't make his free throws at times because them guys are worn out. And I don't know if they can keep up that defensive intensity for the rest of this series.
All right, Jaylen Brown, monster game tonight. 36 points, 10 rebounds. He actually made history. So before we get into all that, last night I was, throwing out the questions there, and I'm kind of curious your answer on it. But, I wonder if the Celtics could win a championship without a healthy Jaylen Brown and without a healthy Jason Tatum. Tatum obviously didn't play tonight, listed as doubtful. I thought he would have played, but seeing the wrap on his hand wasn't great.
No.
And just for the record, it's the opposite hand that he should have had surgery on. So that was confirmed to me last night. But Jaylen Brown got a knee injection. It was reported, and they made it a story. I think we all knew he'd been dealing with it. But I don't know. Do you see any signs of him slowing down whatsoever?
No, not at all. I mean, I thought the second half of game one, he had some energy. He showed some burst. He was getting out on breaks and, he was kind of pulling it back and passing the ball around. But he showed some flash in game one a little bit. But then tonight I was not expecting him to have that kind of life, where he was getting to the basket, beating guys off the dribble, and, he getting that one step on you and it was too late. I didn't expect him to have that. And I didn't expect him to rebound the way he did. He never really rebounds. He's getting double digits rebounds. Something he doesn't do a lot, but he was rebounding. He was contesting shots, things that would bother the knee. He was moving his feet on defense and making plays. So it's like, I didn't see, maybe he's just used to dealing with the pain now and said, hey, it's there. I'm just going to play through it. But I thought tonight he was excellent on both ends, set the tone coming out the locker room. And I don't see any signs of that knee holding him back. I mean, it's going to be a long playoff, but as of right now, as it stands now, if anybody around the league thought they had a chance because Brown was slowed down, you're looking at this game tonight like, man, maybe not. Maybe next year for the rest of us. But I thought it was a great sign for Jaylen Brown what he showed tonight.
So last year, and people can take this as a shot or not, but finally, Jaylen Brown played to the potential everyone thought he could. He was Eastern Conference Finals, MVP of the NBA Finals. Like, when you get that type of performance, they're unbeatable. But tonight, no Jason Tatum, and he was ready to take on the scoring burden right away. He was efficient. He went 12 of 19 from the field. What's really impressive is he was 5 of 7 from downtown. I know you mentioned the rebounds. That's also very impressive. He had a thunderous dunk, which again I'm like, well, that needs no problem there.
Yeah.
He did go to the bench with his brace on. Not on his brace. He went to the bench for a bit late in that first half.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, like, he was unbelievable tonight, and just is playoff Brown. Like, is this who he is? Is this playoff Jaylen Brown?
If it is, then good. I think we'll all take it. If he plays his best basketball in May, I think everybody be on board for that. I mean, he's a good player. He's still fairly young. I mean, we still look at these guys like they're old. He's played a lot of basketball. They mentioned how many playoff games he's been in. But I mean, if he gives you this in the postseason, we'll take it. I mean, when I first started coming on here with you 2 playoffs ago, the biggest criticism with him was being inactive against Miami in that series. And well, most of that playoff, he hurt the hand and all that stuff early on, but he didn't show a lot of energy against Philly and against Miami. And then he comes out last year, finals MVP. And then this year, he's off to a great start so far. So if he's going to play this in the playoffs, nobody's going to have any issues with Jaylen Brown. But I thought he was great tonight, and they needed it. It needed every bucket he got. I mean, Orlando kind of hung around. So if he would have just had an average night, they probably would have lost his game. But he did a little more, way more than average, and they needed it. So I think if there's a playoff Brown, I think everybody be on board for that.
Yeah, get ready for the playoff Brown, playoff Tatum stuff. I'm sure that will get thrown out. But like this is why I wanted to bring this up. I'm not here to do that, Cerrone.
Yeah, I hear you.
I'm not here to do that. I think that this is a team. When you think about game 1, it was Derek White and others, right? Drew Holiday, when Brown, Tatum, and Porzingis didn't shoot well. Tonight it was Brown, but Porzingis was in on the act. Peyton Pritchard was on. Like, Al Horford had 9 and 10 tonight. Like, and Derek White had a huge second half. So, I mean, just the more I watch the Celtics, like, people want to make it about Tatum and Brown, and maybe the coaches will do that again, look at these guys. But this is a team. You look at the three-point shooting tonight. Yeah, the Celtics shot 37 threes. They want to shoot 60. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and they shot 32% from 3. They're finding ways to win as a team, different ways to win. Isn't that what you want from a team that's, known as a three-point shooting team but can find other ways to win?
Yeah, I mean, they played great basketball, complimentary basketball. Again, the big advantage they have against Orlando in their current, state with the injuries they have is at the guard positions. So Holiday, Derek White, Peyton Pritchard, both games 1 and 2 were huge factors on both ends. It's to the point now Cole Anthony ain't even playing no more because it's like we know it's a mismatch for you, and you're gonna throw the whole thing off. They were reaching to put guys in. KCP can't find a bucket against this defense. So they're taking advantage. When playoff basketball is about matchups, Celtics are taking advantage of the matchups. Orlando, I think, made the fatal mistake of saying Jaylen Brown seems hobbled. We're going to put our best guy on it, but we're going to play him one-on-one and see if he can get to the basket. And we're going to give him space on the jump shots. This is the best defensive team when it comes to three-point shooting in the league. But, yeah, he went 5 for 7. It was kind of like, I dare you to make this one. I dare you to make that one. Then it was, okay, we're going to pull up on him. We're going to dare you to go to the basket. And Brown took whatever they were giving him, and they never switched up from it all night because they were so afraid of the Celtics guards. It was afraid of Porzingis and Horford, like you said. So you had to play him one-on-one, so he was able to eat. When they go to Orlando for game 3, if Tatum's not there, I want to see if they double Brown and try and take him away and force somebody else to beat him. But that can get you hurt too with the Celtics team. They're dangerous. But yeah, they play good team complementary basketball, and that's what makes them, I think, the best team in the NBA because nobody else can match their depth when it comes to these situations.
All right, Cerrone Battle's here. We're going to go till midnight tonight. If you want to call in, the phone number is 617-779-0985. I have a few takeaways from tonight that I kind of like the hidden margin stuff that maybe you don't see all night. Obviously, Brown had a great night, and we'll get into Porzingis in a bit, but the Celtics did the little things tonight to certainly get the win. I know people are coming home from the game. We have people in our YouTube chat as well. Why don't we take a call before we take the first break here? Skaz, if you can pot him up. Let's talk to Paul. He's in New Hampshire. You're on with Joe Murray and Cerrone Battle. What's up, Paul?
Yeah, hey, I have one question for you guys after Brown's performance tonight. Is the whole Brown-Tatum number one, number two supposed rivalry, like, that whole Kobe-Shaq thing, like, that's far behind this team, right? That there's no friction there anymore, correct?
Does it matter to you, in your opinion?
As long as they win games, that's actually a really good question in return. Like, is there ever going to be a point where, Brown's actually better than Tatum and he's the man? Like, well, that's a night in, night out thing. They're both number ones, in my opinion.
Yeah, I know. Cerrone, for my case, every time Jaylen Brown did something as a timeout, first guy that greeted them all night long was Jason Tatum.
Yep. And every time he made a shot, Tatum was the one. He had the fingers up. He's had the threes up. He was celebrating. He was rooting for his friend. And I think that's the difference between the Shaq and Kobe and all that stuff. These guys are actually friends. They're beyond the stats and the numbers and all the other stuff that some superstar tandems kind of deal with. These guys are genuinely friends right now, and I think they're at the point in their careers. They don't matter who has points, rebounds, whatever, as long as they win the game. And look, when Brown has the matchup, it's your turn to go. When Tatum has the matchup, it'll be his turn. Tatum's going to have the 30-point game in the playoffs, and Brown's going to have another one. They might have games where they both go for 30. And I think, to the call's point, I think they're well beyond that, and it doesn't affect this team at all.
All right, Cerrone, we'll get into some of the other details from tonight. Kristaps Porzingis, the unicorn, got cut. And it was a hell of a moment. We'll have more on that. He's Cerrone Battle. I'm Joe Murray. We got Skaz here as well. Our intern Josh is rolling on Joe Mazzulla stuff as well. We'll have it when we get it. We're here until midnight tonight. You're listening to 98.5 The Sports Hub. If you like that clip, check out more videos from my show, The Joe Murray Show, here. For more Celtics analysis and opinion, hit this playlist.